So I just wanted to jump on live and do a bit of a recap of where we're at. So the Blueprint Live, I've got a little bit of afternoon brain going on. So right now I'm doing a 5-day, 5-part series on how to start, grow, fix and scale your bookkeeping practice. It's not too late to register. I will keep reminding you right through till Friday. So if you would like to register, if you're a bookkeeper in practice from startup to scaling and you would like to get your hands on this series in order to help you, just like I help bookkeepers all over the world, that you can see in our published results, then you can just go to the link. So I'm going to drop this link in here. It's in the 2 videos over the last 2 days as well. And I've popped those into a playlist called the Blueprint Path. So on day 1, we looked at how to fix your practice. Why did we start there? Because, hello. So why did we start there? That's because from startup, growing, fix or scale, startups and growing need to understand how the booked but broken bookkeeper gets and stays perpetually there, okay? Because we know 90% of bookkeepers are going to start out, grow, and end up perpetually in booked but broken and not get to scaling. So on Monday, we learned how to avoid that or how to fix it. Yesterday, we dived into how to start your bookkeeping practice, how to start strong, and how important that is. If you're a startup or if you're a bookkeeper at any stage, I would love for you to go and refresh yourself on that. And to do that, you can register for the Blueprint Path to get that full video from me, or you could also go and start with the video that I put on YouTube yesterday, okay? And just having a look over here at my son, looking for something. Okay, so today we went into how to grow. So how to grow a bookkeeping practice, okay? And so I thought I'd go over the themes there. So in that video, and also I did this live as a workshop. Once again, I apologize for my afternoon brain. So what we did is we looked at a 5-point plan for how to grow a bookkeeping practice. So the 5-point plan is: find your market and put your brand in front of them. Number 2, nurture them onto your database. Number 3, keep in touch with the people on your database strategically. Number 4, business development activities. And number 5, conversion process. Because as a growing bookkeeper, if you've gone beyond startup and you've got a client or 2 or 3, but you haven't yet filled up your capacity to do the work, then you want to fill up your capacity. You want to find new clients, right? So in today's live workshop that I ran, which you can also get the recording of, or you can get a video separate to that I recorded, we looked at how to find new clients. Yeah, absolutely. So I went into, when I talk about here in this 5-part plan, I went into when you're putting your brand in front of audiences. So when you want to find new clients, what are those audience? What is the market? Where do you find those people? So we dived into those strategies. Ultimately, this is what I like to call the people I know network, structured business networking, and partnerships are the 3 top ones that I help bookkeepers use to get so much out of them. And I gave real strategies in each one. So if you would like access to how to find new clients, then please do make sure that you register for the series. You can email us hello@thestrategicbookkeeper.global. We can make sure we get that to you, okay? So what else can I do as a wrap up for today's how to grow your bookkeeping practice? I think something that I'm really, really passionate about. So I absolutely jumped on today and I said, I'm sure in terms of growing, you want to know, well, how do I find clients? How do I find clients and fill up my capacity as a bookkeeper so I've got a full book of clients? Because when you are looking to acquire new clients, then you are likely feeling like if I could just find all the clients, then I'll have a highly profitable bookkeeping practice. So then why do 90% of bookkeepers start out with a dream in their heart and end up booked but broken? So my passion is to really help you to understand that finding clients is an important thing. It's an important piece of the puzzle. I did that early on and I was always really good at it and I filled up my capacity. I had so many clients, staff as well, but I was booked but broken. So as well as finding clients, it is so important that you understand what to actually do with them. And what to do with them is the bookkeeping practice blueprint, right? So here it is here. So when I say that, let's just break that down a little bit more. I gave you this yesterday again. This is in my podcast every week. And also I'll just point you towards my book. So I've got 2 books. Number 1, the Strategic Bookkeeper. Number 2, the Bookkeeping Practice Blueprint. They are a companion. So when I talk about what are you going to do? Well, let's talk about what I did, and which is today I talked about growing the wrong way versus growing the right way. Okay. And when I started out and I was growing the wrong way, just like I've talked to you the last 2 videos, just like we're going through in this series, what I did wrong and what I should have done right is that when a prospective client knocked on my door, okay, then rather than, yay, you need a bookkeeper, I'm a bookkeeper, what do you need? I'll do that and give me what seems like a decent fee, okay, that's a lack of structure around the heart, one of the heart and soul of your profitability, which is your products and pricing ecosystem. Now, inside your products and pricing ecosystem, as it says right here, you've got your smart, simple, emphasis on simple, smart, simple suite of products. Not a service you write up for them every time. You've got a robust pricing strategy. That includes pricing rules like minimum job charges. Okay, so for example, as at November 2025, in Australia, and actually it usually suits America, Canada, the UK, New Zealand, a minimum monthly job charge for any client. So you shouldn't be doing any work for less than about $280 a week. That's a bare ass minimum. I know a lot of bookkeepers, their minimum is $330 and so on, and yet we still see bookkeepers charging out that or lower quarterly, okay? So you must have a robust pricing strategy, and that's really the first place I work with the Booked But Broken. And so as a growing, when you bring on a client, if you don't have these things, you're going to head for Booked But Broken, okay? And then incorporating advisory. So when you bring on a client, again, you need to be able to sell advisory from the get-go. And that is simply that when you bring on a client, you're going to do the bookkeeping, that's preparing the numbers. You need to sell them, investigate the numbers. That's where the value is anyway, okay? So we're talking about running a viable bookkeeping practice here, okay? Because 90% of bookkeepers build into a business for themselves, which 90% of bookkeepers build a business for themselves where they end up earning less than they could in a job. So the strategies that I'm giving you are for you to build a viable business, okay? A viable business that gives you as much or more than a job would, okay? So that is my passion for really talking to you about when you find clients, what are you actually going to do with them, okay? And I would say the products and pricing part is at the heart. Beyond that, a really sound financial model, okay? So even though we're bookkeepers, we don't always really understand what a sound financial model is. And in the day 1 video in this Blueprint Path series, I went into that, okay? So the financial management of your revenue, where 66% should be gross profit, and you can have somewhere between 10 and 33% should be cost of sales. Somewhere between 66% and 90% should be, I've got one here, what is your favorite book? So somewhere between 66% and 90% should be gross profit. So what is my favorite book and why? Oh my goodness, I will answer that question. It's not a business book. I hope that's okay. So my favorite book, drumroll please, is called Deep Nutrition by Dr. Catherine Shanahan. And the reason why is I had pain and fatigue all my life until only 2.5 years ago, and she healed me. And honestly, when it comes to business, we're going to show up better if we're healthy. So Dr. Catherine Shanahan, Deep Nutrition. Business-wise, oh my goodness, I would say for bookkeepers, my favorite, honestly, hand on heart, my favorite books are the books that I've written. Okay, so just Google the Strategic Bookkeeper, you'll see my 2 books, and I would recommend those. Other great books for business, Atomic Habits is a must. Like, read it and read it again. It's available on Spotify Premium as well. So I love Atomic Habits for business. I love Will It Make the Boat Go Faster is another one. I've got to do a reading list. If anyone wants a reading list for business or for business and life, I also love digesting books on the Blinkist app. I did Will It Make the Boat Go Faster? Another really great one for entrepreneurs is When by Daniel Pink, which is the science of when. That one's good to do on the Blinkist app or one of the summary apps. What other business ones have I got? Key Person of Influence, Daniel Priestley, anything by Daniel Priestley. Goodness, I have a big list of books that I love. So thank you for the question. Okay, now I should probably bring this video to a close. I'm just looking at the notes from today's session. So just having a look. Someone's links to those in the chat. So now just having a look at today's notes from the session. So just a reminder, it's not too late to register for the Blueprint path. That is start, grow, fix, and scale your bookkeeping practice. And day 1, we looked at fix. Day 2, we went to start. Okay, hopefully it's clear why we did that. I did explain that in the beginning. Today we covered grow, and the other thing I'll mention when we covered grow is if you're a growing bookkeeper, this is what we started with today. If you're a growing bookkeeper, and that means you've got 1 or more clients, but you still as a solo operator have capacity for more clients. So you're like, yep, I've got some clients, but I need more, yeah? Then what you really need more of is business, not always more clients. What if you upgraded all the clients? What if all the clients paid you double what they're paying now? But I digress. Okay, so if you're a growing bookkeeper, there's 3 steps at the beginning, and I call them the reset, the restart, and the grow right. So the reset is that as a growing bookkeeper, if you were opting into this video series, you would learn that if you've already started acquiring clients, you've probably got a little bit of a broken business model. And this is what we talk to the Book But Broken. So you need to kind of act like a Book But Broken, and you actually need to go ahead and fix up your pricing. So just that to start with, you need to reprice all your current clients using the rules of the game. I'll point you to the rules of the game. They're in my second book, The Bookkeeping Practice Blueprint. They're also in podcast episode 74, 5, 6, 7, okay? You need to, during the reset, so step 1, reset, install a job costing sheet, okay? And if you're not sure what that is, then I would recommend opting into the Blueprint path. You can always email me as well. This is the critical drivers of your profitability. Profit and cash are oxygen for a business. If you don't prioritize them, your business will suffocate and die, okay? So it's got to come first for every business. So step 1 was that reset. That's what I just told you. Step 2 is start again, okay? So once the reset is done, then you want to start again. And by start again, it means learn and install the entire blueprint, right? And once you do that, then you're ready to grow. So step 3 is just grow right rather than grow wrong, okay? So once you install the whole blueprint, which I taught you yesterday in day 2 of the blueprint path, okay, then you are ready to maximize the opportunity that exists when a prospect knocks on the door to build a profitable, sustainable, real business, yeah? Not just a busy one, to scale into the business and life of your dreams, okay? So I'll wrap it there for the summary of what we did today in the blueprint path. And if you would like to register, go right ahead, and I will see you tomorrow when I wrap up day 4.